Hello, my dear. Tonight, I will take you far back in time, back to the early 1800s, to the wild mountains of America. This history is about the mountain men, hunters, trappers, and wanderers who lived alone in the wilderness. You will hear how they woke up in the freezing cold, how they cut trees with their axes, how they built cabins from nothing but logs, stone, and rawhide. You will feel their hunger, their exhaustion, their fight against storms and snow, and how survival depended on every swing of the axe. This story is not about kings or cities. It is about survival, about men who had no one but themselves, and the endless silence of the mountains. So, close your eyes, breathe slowly, and let me tell you, step by step, what it was really like to build a cabin in the wilderness. It is October. The year is 1834. You open your eyes, but there is no light, only darkness. Not the soft darkness of a warm bedroom, but a heavy, endless blackness. You are lying on frozen ground. Your blanket is stiff with frost. Every breath escapes your lips in a cloud of white smoke. The fire you built last night is nothing but dying embers now. Your hands ache, your muscles burn, and above you, the clouds are heavy, gray, and moving fast. A storm is coming. Not a gentle storm, but the kind of storm that kills men who are not prepared. You have only two choices: build shelter today, or freeze to death before the week is over. You reach for your axe, its wooden handle rough against your blistered palms. Beside it, your possibles bag, a small leather pouch with flint, steel, a knife, and a little food. This is all you have. The wilderness stretches in every direction. Towering pines, cold mountains, snow already on the wind. No towns, no people, only silence. Today, you must build with your own two hands and the knowledge that failure means death. You stand slowly, every muscle stiff and sore. The ground is frozen hard beneath your boots. Your breath rises in pale clouds that vanish in the cold air. You look around the clearing. Tall pines surround you, their trunks straight and strong, perfect for building. The forest is not just wilderness. It is material. Everything you need is here. If you know how to use it, your stomach growls. You chew a strip of dried jerky, wash it down with icy water from the spring. The taste is rough. The water burns your teeth with cold, but it keeps you alive. You grip your axe. Step to the first pine you marked yesterday. 14 inches thick, nearly 100 feet tall. You set your feet firmly in the snow. Take a deep breath and swing. The blade bites deep. Wood chips fly. Each strike echoes through the silent forest. Your arms ache, but you cannot stop. Not when winter is this close. A notch grows in the side of the trunk. Then you move to the other side, cutting higher, forcing the tree to fall where you want it. One wrong move, and it could kill you. Out here, there is no one to help. At last, the sound you've been waiting for. A crack. The tree shudders, groans, and then falls. 100 feet of pine crashing to the ground, shaking the earth, sending birds scattering into the sky. The smell of fresh sap fills the air. One tree down. You will need 20 more before the day is done. The crash of the tree still echoes in your ears, but there is no time to rest. Winter will not wait. You step forward, axe in hand, and begin to strip the branches. One by one, they fall away. Each swing sends shocks of pain through your blistered hands. Your palms are raw, blood seeping into the rough wood of the handle. Still, you work, because every branch you cut away brings you closer to a clean log. A log that will become part of your cabin. The wind grows colder. Snowflakes drift down, soft at first, then more steady. You know what this means. The storm is coming faster than you thought. You wipe the sweat from your brow. It stings as it freezes on your skin. Your body begs for rest, but you cannot stop. 3 trees now lie across the clearing, their trunks thick and straight. You pause for a moment, chewing another strip of jerky, drinking water so cold it burns your throat. Then you look up at the dark sky and whisper softly, "Just give me until morning." Your voice is lost in the wind. The mountains do not answer. But deep inside, you know the truth. Only your own hands can save you here. The snow is falling harder now. The flakes melt on your skin, soaking into your clothes, chilling you deeper than the wind ever could. You swing your axe again. Another pine begins to groan, its tall body swaying as you cut deeper. The crack comes suddenly, and you step back quickly, watching it crash down into the clearing. The ground trembles. The forest shakes. 4 trees. 5. 6. Each one stripped of its branches. Each one lying ready for the cabin to come. But your hands, they can barely grip the axe anymore. Blisters torn open, blood mixing with sweat. Then, disaster. The axe head flies loose, spinning into the undergrowth. leaving you with nothing but a useless wooden handle. Your heart stops. Without an axe, there is no cabin. Without a cabin, there is no survival. You drop to your knees, searching frantically in the snow and leaves. At last, you see the dull gleam of iron. Relief floods your chest. You pull the head free, wrap it tightly with soaked rawhide, binding it back onto the handle. If it holds, you live. If it breaks again, the mountains will take you. As you wait for the rawhide to dry, you keep working with your knife, cutting smaller branches, stripping the logs. You cannot waste a single moment. The storm is close now. You can smell the snow in the air. Maybe 12 hours left. 12 hours between life and death. The rawhide has dried now, tightening around the axe handle. You test it with a swing. The head holds. For now, you are safe. The day wears on. 4 trees down. 5. 6. Your body moves like a machine, driven only by the need to survive. The sky is darkening again, not from nightfall, but from the storm rolling in. Heavy clouds press low over the mountains. The wind cuts sharper with every gust. Your hands are raw. Your gloves are soaked with blood. Your vision blurs from exhaustion. But you cannot stop. The shelter you built from pine boughs last night will not save you again. 7 trees now lie in the clearing. Enough to begin the cabin. Not enough to finish it. You kneel by the fire, forcing yourself to eat more jerky. The taste is bitter in your mouth, but you know you need the strength. The snowflakes are bigger now, falling faster. The storm is almost here. You whisper into the wind. Just let me live till morning. No one answers. Only the silence of the wilderness and the slow fall of snow covering the logs at your feet. Night falls quickly. The fire is low, its warmth too weak to chase away the bitter cold. You lie on pine branches, wrapped in your stiff blanket. The ground beneath you is hard, your body aching from the endless labor. Your breath hangs in the air, white and heavy in the darkness. Snow drifts down silently, settling over the clearing, covering the logs, burying the evidence of your work. You close your eyes, but your mind does not rest. It keeps planning. Which trees to cut next, how to notch the logs, how to lift them into place alone. Even in sleep, your thoughts are working. The silence of the forest is broken only by the wind through the trees and the distant howl of a wolf. You tighten your blanket, pulling your axe close to your side. This is no cozy bed, no warm house. This is survival. And survival means never letting your guard down. At last, exhaustion wins. Your eyes close. Your body surrenders to sleep. But even in your dreams, the storm is there, pressing closer, waiting for its chance. You wake suddenly. The fire has died. The cold has crept in, deep into your bones. Snow blankets the ground around you. Not just a dusting, but inches of white, fallen silently while you slept. Your hands are stiff, the blisters frozen into hard scabs. Every movement cracks the skin, sending sharp pain through your fingers. Still, you move. You rake through the ashes, searching for a spark. At last, a faint orange glow. You place cedar bark over it, blowing gently, carefully, until smoke curls upward and the fire catches again. Relief. Fire is life. Without it, you are already dead. You chew a strip of jerky. The meat is tough, your jaw aching with every bite. The water in your canteen is half ice, but you drink anyway. Every small act keeps you alive. Outside, the world is silent. The forest muffled by snow. You hear only your own breathing and the pounding of your heart. You stand slowly, your muscles screaming, and look at the logs you felled yesterday. They are covered in white now, but they are your only chance. Today is not about felling trees. Today is about shaping them, debarking, notching, turning them into walls. Every cut must be perfect. Every notch must fit, because in this wilderness, mistakes are not forgiven. The morning is gray. Light filters weakly through the trees, casting long, pale shadows on the snow. You drag the first log into place. It is heavy, each step a struggle, your breath clouding in the frozen air. The bark must come off. Bark holds moisture and insects. It cannot stay. With slow, steady strokes, you strip it away. The pale wood beneath shines clean, smooth against the bite of your axe. One log done, then another. The work is endless, but it becomes a rhythm. Swing, scrape, move. Swing, scrape, move. Your muscles warm with the motion, the pain fading into a dull throb. The cold is still there, but for a time, you forget it. By midday, 3 logs lie clean and ready. Your stomach growls, but there is no time for a meal. You chew another strip of jerky, forcing it down with a swallow of icy water. Now comes the hardest part, notching. The corners of the cabin must lock together, each log fitting into the next. If you cut wrong, the walls will not stand. You mark the ends carefully. Then you raise your axe, chopping small, precise cuts. 1, 2, 3, until a groove forms. Rough, uneven, but strong enough to hold. You pause to breathe, your chest rising and falling heavily. Around you, the wilderness is silent, watching, waiting. The foundation of your cabin is beginning. Just 4 logs on the snow. But to you, it looks like hope. The sun is low now, a pale disk behind the clouds. The cold is sharper, biting at your face, numbing your fingers, even through the gloves. 4 logs lie in place, forming the base of your cabin. A simple rectangle, but it feels like progress. You step back, looking at your work. The logs are rough, their notches uneven, but they hold. They will stand. Still, it is not enough. You need more. 15, maybe 20 logs in all. And the storm is closer. The clouds above press darker, heavier. You sling your axe over your shoulder and move into the trees. The forest is quiet, except for the crunch of snow under your boots. Each sound feels louder than it should, echoing in the stillness. You find another pine, straight and tall. You mark it with your axe, then begin the cuts. Swing, crack, echo. The tree groans, then falls, crashing through the undergrowth with a thunder that shakes the clearing. You work quickly, stripping branches, dragging the trunk back toward the cabin. Your body aches, your vision swims with exhaustion, but you keep moving. By the time the light begins to fade, you have added 3 more logs to your stockpile. Your gloves are stiff with blood. Your breath burns in your chest. The wind picks up, carrying with it the sharp, metallic scent of snow. The storm is almost here. You stare at the rising walls, only 2 logs high. It is not enough. Not yet. But you whisper softly, to no one but yourself, I will make it. I will live. The light fades fast. The forest sinks into shadow, and the cold deepens with every breath. You try to lift another log, but your legs nearly buckle. Your arms tremble, your hands slipping on the frozen wood. Your body has reached its limit. You drop the log, falling to your knees in the snow. Your chest heaves, your lungs burning with the icy air. For a moment, you wonder if you can go on. But the storm does not wait. The wind moans through the trees, and the first heavy flakes begin to fall. Big, wet snowflakes that cling to your clothes, that melt on your skin that steal your warmth. You drag yourself back to the fire. Your fingers are numb, barely able to strike the flint. At last, sparks catch. A small flame grows, and you huddle close, hands outstretched, aching for heat. You force yourself to eat, though you have no appetite. Another strip of jerky, chewed slowly, swallowed with effort. Every calorie matters now. The logs lie scattered in the clearing, covered already in a thin layer of snow. Your cabin is only beginning, its walls still low, its roof not even started. But you have survived this day. That, in the wilderness, is enough. You lie beside the fire, your blanket pulled tight, your axe within reach. The storm presses closer, its breath already on your skin. Your eyes close slowly, and in the darkness, you whisper, "Tomorrow, I build again." You wake in the dark. Something cold has touched your face. Snow. It has fallen through the night, covering the ground, covering your logs, even dusting your blanket in white. The fire is out. Only faint orange embers hide beneath the ash. You rake through them with stiff fingers, your hands cracking and bleeding as you move. At last, a spark. You blow gently, your breath slow and steady, until flame returns. Your body aches from the frozen ground. Your beard and hair are stiff with frost. The water in your canteen is half ice. Still, you drink. Still, you chew the last of your jerky. It tastes of leather, but it keeps you alive. The world outside is silent. So quiet. You can hear your own heartbeat. The snow muffles everything. No birds, no animals. Only your steps crunching in the white. You look at the logs. They are buried now, but they are all you have. You kneel in the snow, scraping it away, clearing the wood. Today is not about felling new trees. Today is about shaping the ones you already cut. Debarking, notching, fitting them together into walls that will stand against the storm. You mark the ground with a stick, a rough plan scratched into the dirt beneath the snow. 10 feet by 12 feet. Small, but enough to keep you alive. The storm may rage outside, but inside these walls, you will find shelter. If only you can finish in time. The first gray light of dawn creeps through the trees. You drag a log into place, the snow crunching under its weight. Your body strains, your breath coming in sharp clouds. The bark must go. With slow, careful strokes, you strip it away, revealing pale wood beneath. Each swing is steady, each scrape deliberate. The rhythm warms you, pushing back the cold. If only for a while, 3 logs are cleaned by mid-morning. Your hands bleed again, but you ignore the pain. Pain means You are still alive. Now, the notches. You measure with your axe handle, marking the ends. Then you cut. Small, careful cuts. A groove takes shape. Not perfect, but enough. You fit one log onto another. The sound of wood meeting wood is like music in the silence. The cabin is rising, log by log. The wind whistles through the trees, carrying snowflakes that sting your face. But you do not stop. Every log in place is one step closer to life. By midday, 4 logs stand stacked, forming the base of your walls. A small rectangle in the snow. Crude, simple, but real. You step back, breathing hard, staring at your work. It is only the beginning, but beginnings matter. The snow falls heavier now. Thick flakes drift down, settling on your shoulders, melting into your clothes. You drag another log into place. The weight nearly crushes you, your legs shaking under the strain. But slowly, inch by inch, you roll it forward. The notches must be perfect. Too shallow, and the wall will not hold. Too deep, and the log will weaken. You swing the axe carefully, your arms trembling with exhaustion. Wood chips scatter across the snow. The sound echoes through the silent forest. At last, the groove is cut. You heave the log upward, sliding it into place on top of the others. It settles with a dull thud, fitting tight, locking the wall a little higher. You step back, your chest heaving, your breath fogging the air. 5 logs now. The walls rise slowly, but they rise. Your body screams for rest. Your palms are torn, the axe handle slick with blood. Still, you continue, because stopping now means death. By afternoon, your cabin stands 2 logs higher, a crude frame against the snow. The wind howls, the storm pressing closer. You gather wood for the fire, build it high, and force yourself to eat. Every bite feels heavy, but you swallow, knowing tomorrow will demand even more. The sky is dark again. The storm will break soon. You look at the half-built walls and whisper softly, "Please, let me finish in time." You huddle close to the fire, your blanket pulled tight. The smoke stings your eyes, but the heat keeps you alive. Your axe rests within reach, its handle rough, its head still bound with rawhide. Sleep comes in fits. Every sound wakes you. The snap of a branch, the howl of wolves, the moan of the wind. But exhaustion always pulls you back down. When dawn finally comes, the world is white. Snow blankets the clearing, burying your logs, covering your tracks. You rise slowly, your joints stiff, your fingers cracked and bleeding. But there is no time to rest. The cabin must grow higher. You clear the snow from the logs, dragging one into place. The effort steals your breath, but at last it settles with the others. The walls climb, log upon log, a crude barrier against the storm. By midday, your hands shake with every swing of the axe. Your arms feel heavy as stone. Yet, the walls are rising. 3 logs high, then 4. The storm has not ended. Snow still falls. Wind still howls. But inside the rectangle of logs, you feel the first hint of safety. Not enough. Not yet. But the beginning of shelter. The beginning of hope. The day fades quickly. Shadows stretch long across the clearing, and the sky turns the color of iron. The storm is not done. It gathers strength with the coming night. Your cabin now stands 4 logs high. The walls are rough, uneven, but they hold. They break the wind. And that is enough for tonight. Your body is trembling. Every muscle burns. Your palms are torn open. Your gloves stiff with blood and ice. You can hardly lift the axe anymore. Still, you force yourself to gather wood. Branches, splinters, anything that will burn. The fire roars to life, its light flickering across the half-built walls. You chew the last of your jerky, washing it down with water so cold it numbs your teeth. It is not enough, but it keeps you standing. Snow piles high around the cabin. The wind howls above. But inside your walls, there is a pocket of stillness. Crude, fragile, but yours. You lie down near the fire, blanket pulled tight, axe within reach. The flames dance in your tired eyes, and as sleep takes you, you think only one thought. I am still alive. Tomorrow, I build higher. Morning comes, gray and silent. The fire has burned low, leaving only faint embers glowing in the ash. Your body aches as you push yourself up, muscles stiff, hands cracked and bleeding. Snow has fallen again during the night. It blankets the clearing, burying the logs you worked so hard to cut. You brush it away with frozen fingers, revealing the pale wood beneath. The cabin stands 4 logs high, but the storm has shown you it is not enough. The walls must rise higher. The roof must come soon. You take up your axe once more. The rawhide binding still holds, tight and strong. One small victory. You drag another log into place, its weight pressing your strength to the limit. You notch it carefully, every strike echoing in the silent forest. Then, with a final heave, you set it onto the wall. 5 logs high now. The rectangle of your cabin is taking shape. Crude walls, but walls that break the wind. Walls that hold the snow back. You pause only long enough to drink from your canteen. The water is half ice, burning your throat as it slides down. But it keeps you moving. By midday, the walls are 6 logs high. You step back, breath steaming in the cold air, and for the first time, you almost believe the storm is not done. The snow falls heavy. The wind howls fierce. But inside these rising walls, there is hope. There is shelter. And tonight, you may sleep behind them. Morning comes, gray and silent. The fire has burned low, leaving only faint embers glowing in the ash. Your body aches as you push yourself up, muscles stiff, hands cracked and bleeding. Snow has fallen again during the night. It blankets the clearing, burying the logs you worked so hard to cut. You brush it away with frozen fingers, revealing the pale wood beneath. The cabin stands 4 logs high, but the storm has shown you it is not enough. The walls must rise higher. The roof must come soon. You take up your axe once more. The rawhide binding still holds, tight and strong. One small victory. You drag another log into place, its weight pressing your strength to the limit. You notch it carefully, every strike echoing in the silent forest. Then, with a final heave, you set it onto the wall. 5 logs high now. The rectangle of your cabin is taking shape. Crude walls, but walls that break the wind. Walls that hold the snow back. You pause only long enough to drink from your canteen. The water is half ice, burning your throat as it slides down. But it keeps you moving. By midday, the walls are 6 logs high. You step back, breath steaming in the cold air. And, for the first time, you almost believe the storm is not done. The snow falls heavy. The wind howls fierce. But inside these rising walls, there is hope. There is shelter. And tonight, you may sleep behind them. The night is restless. The storm rages outside, snow piling against the walls you built. But inside, the fire holds. The flames flicker, casting long shadows across the rough logs. You wake often, ears sharp for danger. The cry of wolves, the crack of a branch, the silence of snow pressing heavy on the roof beams. A roof that does not yet exist. When dawn comes, the world is white. The clearing is buried, the trees heavy with snow. But the cabin still stands, 8 logs high, sturdy against the night. Your body aches as you rise. Your gloves are stiff with frozen blood. Your stomach is empty, the jerky almost gone. But hunger must wait. The cabin must rise. You drag another log through the snow, each step a battle. You notch it carefully, arms trembling, axe heavy in your hands. Then, with a final heave, you roll it upward. 9 logs high now, the storm has not broken. The snow keeps falling, thicker, heavier, but the walls are strong, closing out the wind, closing out the cold. By midday, you have raised the 10th log. The cabin towers above you, a fortress of pine and sweat. Still no roof, but the walls are ready. You stare at your work, chest heaving, breath fogging in the frozen air. For the first time since the storm began, you believe you might survive. The fire crackles low as evening comes. The walls stand 10 logs high now, thick and heavy, their weight pressing into the frozen earth. But still, there is no roof. And without a roof, the snow creeps in. The cold sinks deeper. You sit by the flames, hands raw and shaking, staring at the half-finished cabin. Every part of your body aches. Your palms are torn. Your arms burn. Your stomach gnaws with hunger. Yet tomorrow must be harder. Because tomorrow, the roof must rise. You chew the last strip of jerky, tasting nothing, only swallowing for strength. The water in your canteen is ice. You break it with the butt of your knife, drinking the slush that remains. The storm screams above, but inside the walls, the wind is muted, broken. It is not comfort, but it is survival. You lie close to the fire, blanket drawn over your shoulders, axe resting within reach. The flames blur before your eyes, your mind drifting into sleep, and in that moment, you whisper to yourself, one more day, one more night, I will finish this cabin. Morning comes heavy with silence. The storm has not ended. Snow presses against the walls, drifting high, burying the clearing in white. You push yourself up slowly, your body stiff, every muscle aching. The fire is low, only a dull glow of embers. You breathe on them, feed them with dry bark. Until the flames return, the walls stand strong, 10 logs high, dark against the endless snow. But without a roof, they are not enough. Today must be the day. The ridge beam, the rafters, the shelter that will keep you alive. You step into the snow, your boots sinking deep, the cold cutting sharp against your face. You choose a tall, straight pine, its trunk strong enough to span the cabin. The axe bites again and again, chips flying, the sound echoing through the forest. At last, with a final groan, the tree falls. The earth shakes with its weight. This will be the ridge, the heart of your roof. Dragging it is agony. Your arms tremble. Your legs quiver under the strain. But slowly, inch by inch, you bring it to the cabin. The work is only beginning. The ridge must be lifted, set high on the walls. Alone, it feels impossible. But impossible or not, it must be done. The ridge log waits in the snow, heavier than anything you have lifted before. It is the spine of the roof, the piece that will hold everything together. You study the walls, 10 logs high, slick with frost and snow. The climb will be dangerous. One mistake, and the weight of the log could crush you. You fashion levers from smaller trunks, wedging them into the snow, giving yourself a way to raise the ridge. Your hands shake as you set them, your breath fogging in the frozen air. With all your strength, you lift. The log moves slowly, groaning against the snow. You wedge it higher, lift again, higher still. Your arms burn, your vision blurs. Every muscle screams, but inch by inch, the ridge rises. At last, with one final heave, you drag it into place across the top of the walls. It settles with a heavy thud, shaking the cabin, but holding steady. You collapse to your knees, gasping, hands raw and bleeding. But the ridge stands. The roof can begin. Snow drifts down through the open space, but you do not care. For the first time, the cabin feels real. Not just walls, but a home. It creaks softly in the wind, but it holds. It is strong. Now come the rafters. Without them, the roof will never rise. You choose smaller pines, straight and narrow. One by one, you cut them down. Each swing of the axe sends pain up your arms. Each tree you drag back feels heavier than the last. By midday, you have enough. The snow has piled deeper, up to your thighs. The storm presses on, but you cannot stop. You notch the ends of the first rafter, then lift it slowly, leaning it against the ridge beam. It settles into place, forming the first slope of the roof. Another follows, then another, each one raised with trembling hands, each one locking the roof tighter. The cabin takes shape around you, from a hollow frame of logs to something more, something that feels alive. The snow still falls, but less of it reaches you now. The rafters break the wind, break the sky. As the light fades, you stand inside your cabin, looking up at the skeleton of a roof. Crude, incomplete, but real. For the first time, the storm does not feel endless. For the first time, you believe you may see spring. The rafters stand now, angled against the ridge beam, their weight pressing firm into the cabin walls. They creak in the wind, but they do not fall. The roof must be covered. Without cover, snow will pour through, burying you where you sleep. You gather branches, long and thin, stripping them clean. One by one, You lash them across the rafters with rawhide, weaving them into a rough lattice. It is slow work. Your fingers are numb, splitting and bleeding with every knot. The cold bites deep, but the roof takes shape, piece by piece. By midday, half the rafters are lined with branches. Snow still sifts through, but less now. The cabin is darker, quieter. The storm outside feels further away. You chew what little food remains. A final strip of jerky, a swallow of half-frozen water. It is barely enough, but it keeps you standing. Through the afternoon, you weave more branches, layer after layer, until the roof looks like a giant basket turned upside down. The snow still slips through the gaps, cold flakes landing on your shoulders, but not as many, not as sharp. The roof is beginning to protect you. As night falls, you sit by the fire, listening to the storm rage beyond the walls. The wind howls, but inside your cabin, you feel the first true shelter. You whisper softly into the dark, "Tomorrow, I will seal it tight." The morning breaks dim and heavy. The storm is eased, but the snow lies deep, weighing down the trees, silencing the forest. Your cabin stands quiet, its walls high, its roof half woven with branches. It is not finished, but it has endured the night. You rise slowly, your body stiff, your hands raw and swollen. Every joint aches, but the work cannot stop. Today, the roof must be sealed. You cut pine boughs, thick and green, their needles sharp with resin. One by one, you lay them across the branches, weaving them tight, layer upon layer. The smell of pine fills the air, sharp and clean, mixing with the smoke of your fire. The roof darkens as the gaps close, snow sliding off instead of falling through. By midday, half the roof is sealed. The air inside is warmer now, the wind broken, the storm outside muted. Still, you press on, bough after bough, log after log. The work is endless, but the progress is real. By evening, your roof is covered, crude, leak in places, but strong enough to keep the snow at bay. You sit by the fire, watching the flames flicker against the walls. The cabin is no longer just a frame. It is shelter. It is life. You pull the blanket around your shoulders, your body heavy with exhaustion. For the first time, you feel something like peace. And before sleep takes you, you whisper softly, "I will see another dawn." The dawn comes pale and cold. Snow still falls, but lighter now, drifting gently through the forest. Inside the cabin, the air feels different. Still cold, but not the killing cold of open ground. The roof has held. The walls have held. You are alive. Your stomach growls. The jerky is gone. The water in your canteen is ice. Hunger gnaws at you. But for now, shelter comes first. You gather stones from the frozen ground. Your fingers numb as you carry them inside. One by one, you stack them into a circle, forming the base of a hearth. With your knife, you shave curls of bark, laying them carefully, feeding them with twigs. A spark leaps from your flint, and soon, flames dance inside the stone ring. The smoke rises upward, curling toward the roof. It seeps through the branches and pine boughs, but not enough to choke you. The cabin is warm, warmer than it has ever been. You sit close, holding your hands to the fire. The heat seeps into your skin, easing the ache in your bones. The storm may rage again tomorrow. Hunger may return sharper than before. But tonight, you have walls, you have a roof, you have fire. And in the silence of the wilderness, you whisper softly to yourself, "This cabin is mine, and I will endure." The fire burns steady in the hearth, its glow painting the log walls in soft light. The storm outside has quieted, but the silence it leaves behind feels just as heavy. You sit with your back to the wall, blanket around your shoulders, watching the flames bend and shift. The smell of pine smoke lingers in the air, sharp, earthy, comforting. Your body aches with every breath. Your hands are torn, your muscles raw. But the cabin stands. Each wall, each log, each notch, a promise that you are still here. Through the gaps in the roof, snow still falls in thin threads, drifting down like dust. But most of it slides off now, shedding harmlessly into the night. You know the work is not finished. The walls need sealing. The roof needs strengthening. But tonight, the wind cannot cut through you. The cold cannot claim you. You close your eyes, listening to the crackle of fire, the faint hiss of snow against the roof. The wilderness presses close, but for the first time, you feel something like distance from its bite. You whisper into the stillness, "Tomorrow, I will make it tighter. Tomorrow, I will make it strong." And with that thought, you let your head rest, your body surrendering to sleep. The fire's glow guarding you through the night. The morning light seeps weakly through the cracks, turning the cabin walls a faint gray. The fire has burned low, only coals glowing faintly in the hearth. You stir slowly, your body stiff, your blanket crusted with frost along the edges. But the air inside the cabin is different now. Not warm, but no longer the deadly cold of open ground. Outside, the storm has passed. The forest lies silent under a heavy blanket of snow, branches sagging, the world muffled. You drink from your canteen, breaking the thin ice on top. The water is bitter cold, but it eases the dryness in your throat. Your stomach aches with hunger. The jerky is gone, the last scraps long since eaten. Survival now depends on more than shelter. It depends on food. Still, the cabin must be finished. You gather moss and clay from the edges of the clearing, packing it into the cracks between the logs. Your fingers ache, nails broken, but slowly the walls grow tighter. No more wide gaps for the wind to cut through. The work is slow, but steady. Seal one gap, then another. The cabin darkens, the light dim, but the cold stays further outside. By midday, your hands are raw, your body trembling. But when you step back, you see it. A cabin no longer just standing, but holding. A cabin ready for more than one night. You sit by the fire, exhaustion pressing down, and whisper softly, "The walls are strong. Now, I must find food." The cabin walls are sealed now, tight with moss and clay. The wind still howls outside, but inside, the air is calmer, the fire warmer. Yet hunger gnaws at you. It twists your stomach, weakens your arms, makes your vision blur. Shelter is nothing without food. You take up your rifle, its barrel cold against your hand. The powder is dry, the flint sharp, enough for a shot. If you can find something to hunt, you step into the snow, boots sinking deep with each stride. The forest is silent, too silent. Even the birds are gone. Only the crunch of snow marks your passage. You scan the ground, searching for tracks. At last, a faint trail. Deer. The prints lead deeper into the trees. You follow slowly, breath sharp in the frozen air, rifle ready. The silence presses heavy, every sound amplified. The creak of branches, the groan of ice, the thud of your own heartbeat. Then you see it. A buck, its body lean, its breath rising in clouds. It stands still, ears twitching, unaware of you in the trees. You raise the rifle, hands trembling from cold and hunger. The flint strikes. The shot cracks through the forest, echoing like thunder. The buck stumbles, then falls into the snow. For the first time in days, you breathe a sigh of relief. Food. Life. The buck lies still in the snow, its dark eyes glazed, steam rising faintly from its body. You kneel beside it, hands trembling, not from sorrow, but from relief. This is food. This is survival. With your knife, you work quickly, cutting through hide, through sinew. The smell of iron fills the air, sharp against the cold. Your fingers ache, but you do not stop. By the time the sun is low, you have what you need. Meat wrapped in hide, organs cleaned, the rest left for the wolves. You drag the load back toward the cabin, every step heavy, your body burning with exhaustion. But the wait is worth it. Every pound of meat is another day of life. Inside the cabin, the fire roars high. You cut thick strips, laying them across sharpened sticks, holding them over the flames. The fat hisses. The smell fills the air, rich and warm. You take the first bite. Chewy, tough, but hot. The taste of life itself. For the first time in days, your stomach quiets. Your strength begins to return. You sit close to the fire, meat roasting beside you, the cabin walls holding against the storm. And softly, you whisper into the silence, "I will not die here, not yet." The cabin glows with firelight, its walls flickering in orange and shadow. The smell of roasted venison lingers in the air, rich, heavy, comforting. You sit with your back against the logs, blanket over your shoulders, chewing slowly. Every bite fills the emptiness inside you, pushing back the weakness that had crept so close. Outside, the storm groans on. Snow piles against the cabin walls, the wind screaming through the trees. But inside, you are warm. You are fed. You are alive. You lay strips of meat near the fire, drying them into jerky. Tomorrow, you will need food ready to carry. This kill cannot be wasted. The fire crackles low. You feed it carefully, one stick at a time, listening to the hiss and pop of sap. The sound is steady, soothing. For the first time, you let your eyes close without fear. The roof holds. The walls hold. The food is plenty, at least for now. The wilderness outside still waits, still watches. But tonight, in your cabin of logs and fire, you have won. And before sleep takes you, you whisper softly into the glow, "This place is mine, and I will endure the mountains.